Hello everyone and welcome to the Vintage Needle Crafter. My name is Laura. Today we are doing the 1-year Podiversarry. This is my Podiversarry this month, and I began my channel around the end of May, so I'm going to do a Podiversarry video for you today. I'm going to answer your questions that I have been saving. I have them all written down in my notes. Behind me here, you'll see something new. This is my little chicken, my emotional support chicken that I knitted last week. I only showed you just a piece of that, but I gave her a name. This is Mildred. This is Mildred, my emotional support chicken. And she's just going to sit back here and hang out. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I thought this would be a fun thing to do a Podiversarry video for all of you. So welcome to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you again, returning subscribers, for tuning into me. And we're going to get into it. Okay, first I wanted to share with you something that I have not shared on my channel before. Many of you don't know, but recently I have been going through some trauma in my life. But, you know, God has given me the grace to get through it. And also He has placed in my life some new circle of friends. And I'm really thankful for those ladies and everyone that I've met. And it's been a tremendous healing. So, so yeah, there's that. But I am fine. I'm getting through. Everything's going great. So, you know, we all have problems in life, but by His grace, we're able to get through. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is I'm just going to get into the questions, because I have quite a few. And I had mentioned before, nobody's questions are getting left out. And after that, I'm going to talk a little bit about my future plans for my channel. And about slowing down, and talk about that. And a little bit of WIP progress. Okay, so the first one, and I'm going to pause so I can get a drink, and maybe you'd like to get one too and join me. Okay, I'm going to try to make this video under 30 minutes if I can, but we'll see. All right. Okay, question number 1. I'm wondering if you were named after Laura in the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. Well, a little bit about my name. No, I was not named after Laura from the Little House on the Prairie books. My mother wanted to name me Loretta after Loretta Lynn, was one of her favorite singers. But she chose the name Laura instead, and I'm happy that she did. But I've always had sort of a connection or closeness a little bit to Laura Ingalls Wilder, and I enjoy reading her books. I have all of them, and quite a very good read, history-wise anyway, but yeah. So no, I was not named after Laura Ingalls Wilder, although I would have maybe liked to have been. Okay, the second question. Do you think there are yarns that are better to crochet with? This one had me thinking. So far, I do not know of any that I prefer better, except maybe for one. And that was when I had shown that top that I had designed, the brioche with the lace insertion. I had used a yarn that was a number 2 weight merino wool called Universal Yarns Cobblestone. But that's the only one that I considered that I really liked better in crochet than knit. So there aren't too many for me that I like better. crocheted than knit. Okay, also, there's a second part to this. It says, if you do, how would you choose the yarn for crochet projects? What I do when I yarn shop or when I see yarn I'd like to buy, I will look at it and decide if I like the yarn. Think about what maybe I could make with it in the future from an acquisition or whatever. And what I will do is I will take that yarn and I will do swatches, one in crochet and one in knit. And to me, that will determine what I want to do. Do I want to make this a crochet project? Do I want to make it a knit project? What do I like better? And then I just go from there. Okay, next question. When you choose a yarn for a summer project and you want to use an acrylic cotton blend, what percentage of acrylic to cotton would you use? Well, my preference would be like an 80 cotton, 20 acrylic. But however, I have used a 50-50 percentage before, and that was nice. But just me, my personal preference, I like a little bit higher percentage cotton to acrylic, especially for summer because it's breathable and more light. Okay. All right, next one. How do you like lyocell? And when I was asked this, I wasn't too familiar with lyocell. And thank you for asking that question because I learned something. No, I have never worked with lyocell, but lyocell is it's a fibrous yarn from, I believe, wood. So sort of similar to cotton. I've never worked with it, so I have no idea how the durability is, how you are to wash and care for it. I found out, yes, it is pricey, but for me, my opinion, I would just stick with cotton, although I am kind of curious to try it. So it may be something in the future that I may decide to try. Okay, next one, number 5. How did you learn to knit and crochet? This was one of my favorite questions. How did you learn to knit and crochet? Well, I learned to crochet before I knitted. About the age of 12, 13 years old, my mother sat down and tried teaching me crochet. I didn't quite pick it up right away and just kind of left it along the wayside. And then when I was 13, my sister was making things to sell. She used to crochet the towels cut off the towels and crochet the top. You ladies are a little older, probably remember that. And I really wanted to make some and for selling. And I said to her, please teach me again how to crochet. I want to learn. I'm going to give it my best go. And I learned and it took off. And I remember when I was 15 years old, I made my mother a little stuffed animal. It was a Garfield. But yeah, I was 13 when I was crocheting, and knitting wise, my older sister Linda, she tried to teach me knitting, and I just couldn't get the hang of it. It was just, at that time, maybe I was too young, as I was a teen, just too complicated, had other things, I wanted to do in life. But about 12 years ago, I had taught myself to knit from a vintage book that I had found at a thrift store. And for about 8 years, I was knitting incorrectly. When I would do my knit stitch, I would put it through the back loop, and that would twist the stitch. And I did not know all that time that I was twisting the stitches until someone came along and showed me, your stitches are twisted and you knit through the back. I go, yeah, that's how they look, right? No. But I'm not going to say that there's any one right way or wrong way to knit, just that I corrected that. So, but yeah, knitting was the newer thing to me than crochet. Now, there's a second part to that. What's your favorite tool you own for knitting? Oh, that's an easy one. Right off the top of my head, my preference is, the Chiagu circular stainless steel knitting needles. I do have one that's bamboo, and it may be nice for winter. I just didn't like it for summer because it's sticky. You know, my hands kind of stick to it. But my favorite knitting tool of all time is the Chiagu circular knitting needles. The longer the cord, the better for me. I love making socks on them because I can do the 2 at a time magic loop method. So those are my favorite tools. Any other knitting accessories? I don't really have any favorites. So, okay. Now, speaking of favorites, this next question says, what is your favorite thing to make in knitting and in crochet? Well, in knitting, my favorite thing to make are cardigan sweaters or pullover sweaters. Those are my favorite things to make knit-wise. Crochet, I would say my favorite things to make are duster cardigans and shawls, which I have quite a few shawls I've got going now. So one I finished and it was crocheted. So yeah, favorite thing in crochet shawls, favorite thing in knitting is cardigans and sweaters. Okay, wow, we only have just a few more. Doing good, we're only 12 minutes in. Okay. When and who taught you to knit and crochet? Okay, I think I answered that in the last one. It was my sister that tried to teach me knitting and just get anything of it. Crochet, it was my mom, and then my younger, not my younger sister, but my sister that's closest to my age. Okay. Now, this one was intriguing. I love this question. What is it like to live in Illinois? Now, Illinois is a Midwest state of the United States, or sort of in the middle, as well as Iowa. And Illinois has many different parts. Some of Illinois is rocky with hills and lots of forests. And parts of Illinois are prairie, where the wild buffalo used to be. And near where we live, there are people that still raise wild buffalo that the natives used to raise. And then there are parts that are all farmland. It's just where I am. And in my area, for about a range of so many miles, there used to be a large, very large swampland. And many, many years ago, the swampland was drained to make the land drier and fertile for farming. And the land here is very fertile. There is a lot of clay in the soil from where the swamp used to be. So yeah, we sit down in a valley. There's a very many miles of valley. That's why in that last video in the distance on the south, you could see that there were a lot of trees and there was hills. That's when you're coming out of the swamp. So, so yeah, that is how it is in Illinois. Now, we have hot summers, cold winters, mild up and down temperatures in the spring, and up and down temperatures in the fall. So, love it here. I've lived here in Illinois pretty much my whole life. When I was a tiny tot, I lived in Wisconsin for some time and then just moved to Illinois. So been here my whole life. So now I'm at the last question already. What is your favorite summertime beverage? Oh, well, that's easy. My favorite thing I drink mostly in the summer is iced tea. I'll drink anything from regular Lipton tea that's got lemon and sugar to different types of tea. Hibiscus and rosehip tea is something I enjoy. Another thing I like to do is make my own beverage by placing a quart mason jar with filtered water, slicing up cucumber and lemon with some spearmint or mint leaves and just putting it in the refrigerator, and it is so refreshing. It's a very good, refreshing drink to have in the hot summertime. And today it's going to get hot. Speaking of that, oh, and I apologize if you hear road noise. Farmers are still going up and down the road with the sprayers and the planters, and I I am sitting in the front out here, and I have the window open to let in the southern breeze. It's so beautiful. But it's going to be hot today, and this room has no AC. Not this room anyway. So I'm out here in the cool of the morning and filming this for you. And I apologize if you can hear the noise of the traffic. It didn't dawn on me in the beginning of the video to let you know that, but you're probably going to hear that now, and I'm sorry. Well, that was fun with the Q&A, and now I would like to talk about the finished object we have sitting back here. And I told you that this is my little, I want to make her like my little channel mascot. She's so cute. I had so much fun doing this. I never do stuffed animals or anything like that, you know, but I thought this was fun. And I seen somebody else making one of these, and emotional support chickens. Yeah, and I thought it was so nice. And once I casted this on, and you can find the pattern for this on Ravelry and Etsy. Etsy is where I got my pattern. And I just downloaded it to my phone because I don't have a print or anything. But if you type in emotional support chicken, she or he'll pop up, and you'll be able to knit your way to an emotional support chicken. Now, I can say this pattern was not very challenging for me, and I am not an advanced knitter at all. I would call myself an intermediate knitter, and I didn't have any trouble with this. But if you do, I think she has a video link to it as well. But anyway, this was knit flat going this way, and you start with the tail here, and you've seen this in my last video, part of the tail, and then you do this ridge here, and then you do another half. You just sew them together with a single crochet, and that makes this little ridge. Then you're going across here, and you're knitting it up all the way up till you do the head. Yeah, and then you add this little section down here. Now, mine was too wide at first, and she looked really, really wide, and I thought, oh, I don't like that. So I just kind of cinched it in and sewn it in. And stuffing, polyfill, I had enough to do like half the body, and then I thought, oh my, she's bigger than I thought. So I had to use, you know, that bag I showed you in Tour of My Craft Room that had all my yarn scraps, little bits of scraps. I had to use that whole entire bag in here. Then I still didn't have enough. So I went to our rag bag where I cut up old bath towels to use for rags. I had to cut some strips of those and cut them up and put them up here. And then her head, inside her head, there is a pom-pom, a large pom-pom for her head. But we made it, and she stuffed, and here she is. Mildred, the emotional support chicken. I had so much fun making this, and it only took me like 2 days because I just kept going and going and going on. I didn't work on anything else but just this. So yeah, she was a lot of fun to do. I get a kick out of it. Okay, because I'm a farm girl, and I've raised chickens before, and I love chickens, so don't have any now, but okay. And the only other whip I'm really going to show you is just what I've almost got finished. I'm not going to go into showing everything I showed last week because it's just a repeat of everything. But this here is coming along quite nice. It's a triangular scarf. And this is one cake of that, of the label here, Willow Yarns Dahlia. You might be able to find this out there. This was the color Rosewood. It's very nice. It's very silky soft. If you're new to wool or wool irritates you, give this yarn a try. It is so soft it doesn't feel like wool at all. And I had a little bit from a second cake, and I'm going to just keep going until this is all gone. See just how large it can be. It's probably going to be a little bit more. Not too much, but I like the stripes. It's turning out really nice. I like the color and everything. So that's all I had. Because I'm just, right now, like I say, I'm just focusing on finishing this. And Sheila had just uploaded her video for the knit along, so I'll be doing this and then that. So that's my focus. Now, what I want to talk about is a little bit about my channel plans. In a much earlier podcast, I had mentioned and talked about slowing it down, and for a while there it didn't seem like I was, because I was just pouring myself into my needlework. It was because of the trauma I was going through. I was pouring myself into my needlework to shift my focus away from things that were going on around in my home. That's all I can say. But yeah, but now that is past and that is over, and I have wonderful support system and everything just getting me through. I'm going to slow it down and do what I said I was going to do. So the timing is right now to slow things down. I'll still be, as far as I know, I'm still be making weekly podcasts for you, just little updates and chat, you know, because I love doing that. I love sitting down with all of you and chatting. Okay, so that's my plans for my channel. Also, when I get to that 500 subscriber threshold, I would like to maybe add a little thanks button and try to get out some more tutorials for you that way. And then maybe I can open up a Happy Mail and get a post office box going for that. So yeah, that's my future plans, just one day at a time. I appreciate every one of you taking the time to just sit down with me and watch my channel. I didn't talk about what I was wearing at all, but I think you've seen this before. This is a crochet, just a long crochet. It's a little shorter than a duster. It's just something I made, and I had showed it a while back on one of my earlier podcasts. I think the pattern for this was by Hey Carrie. Oops. My daughter's calling. But I don't think you'll hear it on the video. But I should end this and give her a call. Okay, well, with that, thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me in my 1-year Podiversarry. It's been a fun experience on YouTube, and I'm happy and thankful for all of you for making it happen. So please be sure to hit the like button. Please consider subscribing, for my channel can continue to grow. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye!